guys, Willie here with WTF Car Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the all-new 2024 Ford Expedition Max XLT.
And a big thanks to Chris and the rest of the management and staff here at AutoNation Ford in Brooksville, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to your inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Brooksville, Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out. And as for Chris.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the Expedition has been Ford's full-size three-row SUV since 1997. The fourth generation Expedition that you see here was released in 2018, facelifted in 2022, and for 2024, all-wheel drive trims from the XLT and up now get front tow hooks coming equipped with a heavy-duty trailer tow package. We also have an available new wild green paint color. The second row now gets USB-C ports in addition to USB-A ports and a 120-volt AC outlet. Ford has also limited its connected navigation services to 1 year, which was previously 3 years. The XLT that you see here starts at $62K for the Expedition Max, ranging all the way up to $83,000 for the Platinum. What else do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So we mentioned with the $62,000 base price, we are loaded with features. We have full LED front headlamps with an LED daytime running light. It says Expedition right there in the corner. We don't get fog lights and we don't get tow hooks because we don't get the heavy duty trailer package. No front facing camera or 360 on the base XLT. I like the black grille design. Unfortunately, a bird has given us a little bit of its decoration in the grille, but still super clean overall look with functional airflow in the corners. Radiator up top with the intercooler down below. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera. The wheel and tire setup, let's take a step over here. This is part of the black appearance package. We get these 20-inch rims wrapped in Hankook Dynapro ATM all-terrain tires. And they look pretty beefy. That tread pattern, nice and aggressive, makes this SUV look a lot more bold and menacing. Dimensions being 275/55 R20 and a 6-lug pattern in the center. The brake caliper is a pretty large, looks like a dual piston, but it could be a quad. Either way, the brakes feel very solid here on this SUV. We get 4-door smart access, large mirrors with blind spot monitoring on them. Running board, it's a little bit high up off the ground, so it doesn't really help a whole lot getting in this pretty large full-size truck, but it does help nevertheless. The window sticker is going to be pretty hard to pick up because of the glare. Hopefully you can pick up everything available on this 2024 Ford Expedition XLT 4x4, 7-passenger, 3.5 EcoBoost V6, 10-speed auto with select shift. Not quite sure how to pronounce this paint color. Agate black metallic, I'm sure I butchered that, with the black Onyx Active X seat materials. Looks, smells, and feels just like genuine leather. You guys can pause, take a look at all of the standard features. We are loaded with a base XLT with about a $65,000 base price with 4-wheel drive. Anyway, $37.95 for the high equipment group. It's a 202A for the XLT. Hopefully I can leave a link right here, show you everything that comes equipped with that equipment group. Unfortunately, Ford doesn't have it listed on the sticker. $14.75 for the panoramic Vista roof. $180 for the floor liners, $18.95 for the black accent package, which includes these black 20-inch rims wrapped in all-terrain tires. $100 for the cargo organizer, which is soft-sided and standard. $7,400 in total options. $18.95 for the destination and delivery, totaling us out a tick under $75,000. 18 MPG, 16 in the city, 22 on the highway, which is really good on gas considering the segment and power that this vehicle has. I'll take a step back. Hopefully you get a good look at the side profile. The Max, of course, has about an additional foot and a half of length. I'll leave a link right here, show you exactly the difference in the overall length compared to the standard Expedition. But it makes a huge difference for the cargo space behind the third row, and also increases a little bit of the third row overall space. Out rear, we don't get LED taillights for the XLT, but it still does the job. Turn signal and reverse light, full rear parking sensing, trailer hitch. Leave a link right here, show you exactly what this Expedition is rated to tow. I believe it's around 9,000 to 9,300 pounds. We have an Expedition badge, Ford right above it. Shout out AutoNation Ford in Brooksville, Florida for helping make this review possible. We get Max in the opposite corner and a LED third brake light. So we don't have LED tail lights, but we do get a third brake light being LED. The glass out rear also lifts up, so if you have kayaks, you can run them through your Expedition. If you have dogs that you want to put in your cargo space, you can lift the glass up, put some groceries in there if you're in a parking lot, and not have to worry about your dog jumping out and running all over the parking lot. We'll check more out with the liftgate once we hop out for the cargo space. We got the exhaust tip in the corner. It's only a single tip, but speaking of the single tip, let's fire up this 3.5-liter twin-turbo EcoBoost V6 and hear how she sounds. Alright guys, that was the sound of the monster 3.5-liter twin-turbo EcoBoost V6 sold by Ford for the 2024 Expedition and Expedition Max. In the standard application for the base models, cranking out 380 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque. For the higher trims, it cranks out 400 horsepower, still at 480 for the torque, and the top trims like the Limited Stealth Performance, the Platinum, and the Timberline get 440 horsepower, 510 pound-feet of torque. But even though the powered figures are a little bit different, the overall performance is generally about the same with all of the trims. The fastest trims get to 60 in around 5.1 seconds, and the slowest trims like we have here will get to 60 in about 5.5 seconds. So yeah, whoop-de-doo. But again, made it to the 10-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive system at about 5.5 seconds 0 to 60 is super impressive for a full-size 3-row extended wheelbase SUV. As far as the interior, let's take a step inside and see what we get at around the $70,000 to $75,000 price point in the full-size segment. Let's set these headlights back to auto so the car is not yelling at me or SUV is not yelling at me. Up top we get this leather etched stitch trim. It's not genuine leather, it's the Active X material, but could have fooled me. Looks, feels, and smells just about the exact same. We get a gushy soft armrest, door handle, 4-window auto-on touch, power folding mirrors, 4-way adjustable, 3-person memory seats. We don't get the Bang & Olufsen sound system here on the base XLT, but this standard system does sound surprisingly well for a base system. Ton of storage down below. You'll fit 2 24-ounce bottles. You'll stack 2 foot longs on top of each other, and you'll stack a couple 6-inch subs at the end. We got that massive running board too. The seats are still the Active X materials, not genuine leather, but again, as we've been saying, looks, feels, smells just like the real thing. Perforation in the center, heated and ventilated, fully adjustable. You got lumbar control. You can recline, drop, lift, and slide the front seats. Taking a step inside, we can really check it out. So foot on the brake, engine start stop, and everything fires right to life. So even though this is basically a base model Expedition Max, the Expedition starts with the XL STX, which is a little bit less equipped than this. But for the Max, this is the base model, the cheapest way to get inside of one. But starting with the steering wheel, we do get some 10-2 bolstering notch. The Tahoe and the Suburban do not get that. The 9.3 feels a little bit better too. Subtle wood trim, no flat bottom, but we do get a 6 o'clock spoke. The horn area is hard plastic. The horn itself, loud and aggressive. People should be definitely getting out of your way. We'll do a window check, see if we get dual panes. We do. The base XLT Expedition Max gets dual pane windows. On the left side, we have our adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, volume adjustments, and voice commands. On the right side, you can skip your songs, hang up and answer your phone calls, and the adjustments for this infotainment. Right now, we're looking at My Menu, Trip Fuel, Vehicle Info, Navigation, Phone, Audio Settings, cool, all of that. Here we have the configurations for the screen. Beneath that, Trip and Fuel. Here we have Fuel Economy, Trip 1, Trip 2, Auto Start, Stop. Behind that, Vehicle Info, or beneath that, Vehicle Info with TPMS, power distribution, engine information, and seatbelts. Let's check out engine information real quick. Here we have oil life, engine hours, and idle hours. Cool. We can go back, see what else we have. We have towing, navigation, phone, audio, and the overall settings. My personal favorite to look at all times will probably be the power distribution, so we'll leave it there. Beneath that, digital speedo, a nice little illumination of an Expedition. Up top, we have coolant temp, or oil pressure, transmission temperature, fuel level on the left side, tachos about 6,200 RPM with 120 mile-an-hour speedometer. The dashboard gets stitching for the front, but hard plastic for the actual frame of it. We are going to save some money wherever we can to keep this base price as close to that $60,000 price point as possible for the base. To the left of that, we get tilt and telescoping steering wheel. That's a premium touch for the money. The stocks have a really satisfying click. Auto headlamps, auto high beams, no auto rain sensitive wipers, but the adjustments right here in the corner. We get auto headlamps and auto high beams, as we mentioned, adjustable foot pedals. We have memory seats, and you can drop the second row seat with a click of a button. Not quite sure why you want to do that, but it is available if need be. I don't think you have the adjustments on the right side for the other seats, but as you see, that seat is now on the ground. Adjustable foot pedals too. Hopefully you get a good look at the foot pedals. I mentioned the dashboard, the touchscreen. It's 12 inches with audio, phone, navigation, favorites, apps, settings, and features. So we get navigation right now, but as we mentioned, Ford has limited the navigation from standard from 3 years to 1 year. After that, you're gonna have to pay a monthly fee. But this navigation is excellent. The response is just like an iPhone. The resolution is also perfect. We can go check out the rest of the apps. We get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The settings, you guys can see all of the adjustments, features. Cool. We can go right back to the nav. It's my personal favorite screen to look at all times. The gear selector down here controls the 10-speed auto transmission. The backup camera, the resolution definitely leaves something to be desired, but it fills up the entire screen with guidance lines and trajectory with rear parking sensors. Throwing right back into park, and we return right back to the previous screen. Manual shifts for the gear selector. Four-wheel drive, we have 2 high, four-wheel drive auto, and four-wheel drive high. We do not get four-wheel drive low, which with these all-terrain tires, four-wheel drive low would be nice. The drive modes, we have normal, slippery, sand, and mud ruts. Mud ruts, slippery, and sand all activate the four-wheel drive auto or four-wheel drive high system. Normal mode we can use in two-wheel drive. Same thing with eco mode. Sport mode also shifts us into four-wheel drive auto, and we also get tow haul, which should return us to two-wheel drive. We'll see if it does. Nope. Tow haul also leaves us in four-wheel drive auto. But we'll start the review off in normal, transition to sport, and just see what the differences are. Cool, we have a little bit of storage over here in the center. 2 cup holders loaded with my crap. You'll fit about 24-ounce bottles in there. USB-A and C port with a wireless charging pad. The lid, the material is just hard plastic, but it still looks pretty premium with the aluminum accents. We get leather stitching for your knee will often hit. Solid storage underneath over here. Hopefully you can pick it all up on camera. The armrest is gushy soft leather. We can open her up. It is spacious. You got pen slots, additional storage with felt on the bottom of it, coin slots, and good location for business cards. The storage itself is massive. You'll fit 3 or 4 bowling balls in here. You'll fit a 6-pack, maybe 7 2-liter bottles of soda loaded with storage and an additional 12-volt in the corner. Cool. We shut this console right up. We get 2-tier glove boxes. The first tier up top is large. You'll fit a shoe in there. You may be able to fit 2 if you're under a size 10. The bottom tier is decently large. You'll also fit a pair of shoes in there. I don't think you'll be able to fit a second pair though, however. About 20-ish license plates should fit with no problem. We don't get a frameless rear view mirror, but it is auto dimming. The interior lights appear to be LED. Cool. We also have a massive panoramic moonroof. It's like a $1,700 or $1,800 option, but it is tremendous. The glass opens up before the shade finishes opening up. I'll press this button over here to finish the shade process. And as soon as the shade finishes opening up, we'll open up the rest of this glass. So it goes all the way out into the second row. Very large opening. Beautiful day today in Brooksville, Florida. Sunny and 73 degrees according to this 2024 Expedition Max. We'll shut the glass right up. We'll leave the shade open so when we hop out back, you can see how much light is brought into the cabin, but that's about it for the inside, at least for the front seat of this 2024 Ford Expedition Max. We also get a sunglass holder up here and 3 garage home link settings. Hopping out to the second row, we'll see how much space is offered back there, as well as the overall quality of the material. So up top, same ActiveX stitch material like we had up front, gushy soft armrest, door handle, auto one-touch window, cup holder up top. Very solid amount of storage. Hopefully you can pick up just how much. Not sure if I can get my camera in there, but it is a very solid amount of space. And a massive storage down below. You'll fit 2 6-inch subs, 2 footlongs, and a 24-ounce water bottle right down below. Running board continues out rear too. We'll lift the seat up. The materials are that same ActiveX with perforation in the center, decent bolstering for a rear seat. Taking a step inside, we can really check it out. So I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall. I have about a foot of knee room. There's a latch down here too. You pull this latch up and nope, we're in the furthest back seat setting, and this is about how much knee room I have, which is a lot. Headroom, I have about 2 inches of headroom. If that's not enough, I can recline this seat fully, which compromises a little bit of knee room, but now I feel like the king back here. I have literally like almost a foot of headroom. You'll fit somebody about 7 feet tall in the back seat of an Expedition with no problem. That's why you go for a full-size SUV in the first place. Back here, we have charge ports, 2 USB-Cs, and we have an AC outlet. It is 110 volt, 150 watt. Down below, we have an additional 12 volt. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera. There we go, with some storage beneath that as well. Full 3rd zone climate control. We get cup holders, and these armrests are very large. You'll easily fit full-size arms back here. One of the largest console armrests, not console armrests, just armrests in general for captain chairs in the business. The moonroof brings in a ton of light into the cabin too. The interior lights are LED, and the air vents blow directly into your face. Perfect location for them. Mat pockets behind both of the front seats. That's about it though, guys, for the second row. Let's hop out back into the third row, see how much space is offered back there. And this is why you go with the Max, the second and third row seating capability. So again, at a little bit over 6 feet tall, I still have over 2 inches of knee room, and that's with the seats all the way back. Headroom, I have about ½ inch to 1 inch, so I am running out of space. But if you're under 6'4", 6'5", you'll comfortably fit in the third row with the second row all the way back with no problem, and that says a lot. If that wasn't enough, these buttons over here also recline the third row seat. So check this out. We mentioned the headroom is a little bit limited, but when I'm reclined, now I have an extra 2-3 inches of legroom, and I'm extremely comfortable back here. And we still have a very decent amount of cargo space. Again, that's why you go for the Max. We can lift this seat back up a little bit. We get 2 cup holders and a storage slot with a USB-A port in the corner. Same thing on the opposite side, but the opposite side only gets 1 cup holder for some reason. Still the same adjustments for the seats. To hop out into the cargo space, let's do exactly that. Push the seat forward. Very easy process. That's why you go with a full-size SUV, especially an extended wheelbase one like we have here. So hopping out towards the cargo space, we'll check out this gas cap real quick. Premium fuel recommended for this twin turbo V6, and we get capless easy fill. So we mentioned that the glass opens up individually from the trunk. Let's check that out real quick. So this is one of the most convenient features in any SUV. It's basically limited to the full-size segment now, outside of the Bronco from Ford or the 4Runner from Toyota. Both are pretty large vehicles with an off-road orientation to it. This is one of the last 3-row SUVs outside of the Tahoe and Suburban that have it available. Regardless though, check out the amount of cargo space. You can fit a dog back here with no problem, even with the third row seat up. And if you have a dog back here, you don't want to lift the entire trunk because it can just jump out and run around the entire parking lot. This way you can just drop your bags right in and have no issues. You can also fold the second and third row seats, or maybe just the third row seat since we have the extended wheelbase Max, and run some kayaks through this window as well without having to lift the trunk up. Awesome. We can shut this glass right back where it was, open up the actual trunk for this 2024 Expedition Max. It opens up pretty quickly, and as you see, the step-in is relatively low for a full-size SUV. I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall, and my knees a couple inches below the step-in, so if you have older or smaller pets, they shouldn't have the toughest time hopping back here. Down underneath here, we have some additional secret storage, so if you plan on keeping the third row seats up at all times, I might recommend removing this tray just to have a little bit more usable space and to keep the stuff in place. We can drop these third row seats down with a click of a button. It takes its time, and its headrest should follow. There we go. Same thing for the second row. We press the button on the bottom and it drops down the second third row seat, and hopefully you can pick up just how much cargo space is back here. Unfortunately, the second row seats are blocking them and are in the way, but I'll leave a link right here to show you exactly how much space is behind the third row, with the third row down, and with the second row down for the extended wheelbase Expedition Max. We also have a ton of storage thanks to these pockets for the third row passengers, and an additional cutout over here to fit a nice grocery bag in there with no problem. Hooks too, and we get additional ones on the bottom. Hopefully you can pick them up on camera. That's about it though, guys, for this 2024 Expedition Max. The trunk takes its time to close, so if you have grocery bags in your hands, you don't have to rush out of the way, and you probably still will not get doofed in the head. That's about it though, guys, for the inside and outside for this 2024 Ford Expedition Max XLT. We are getting up there in price. It's almost a $75,000 SUV, but considering this is just the base Expedition, we get a ton for the money. I was not expecting heated and ventilated seats as part of a $3,000 option group, and these black 20-inch rims with the all-terrain tires make this vehicle look just about as aggressive as a Timberline, if not more, with the black theme. Performance-wise, let's take this 2024 Ford Expedition Max XLT out for a drive and see what it's got. All right, guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the all-new 2024 Ford Expedition Max XLT. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. My first impressions though, we get a super commanding view of the road, and although the view of the road is super commanding and we have an extended wheelbase massive SUV, this thing surprisingly feels a lot smaller than it is. We'll be able to try out an acceleration off the line right over here on the gas. Boost. Woo. Monster. You look down and you are flying. I could definitely see 0 to 60 happening in the mid to high 5-second range. It's definitely not as quick as a Timberline or a Limited Stealth Performance Edition, but I mean, who would expect it to be that quick? It doesn't make as much power, and in this max application, it just simply weighs more than the other trims that make more power. But even still, it still feels surprisingly quick. You're blowing the doors off of just about every single Chevy Suburban on the road. All right, guys, taking a step out here, light throttle. The response is good. Very strong low end punch, and you don't really have a lot of throttle delay or turbo lag with this EcoBoost engine. They did an amazing job making this V6 or twin turbo V6 feel as naturally aspirated as physically possible. I think they do that by giving you 2 separate turbochargers. One is like microscopic in size, which allows you to have a little bit less overall turbo lag. Overall turning radius though, check this out, nice and sharp on the gas. Boost. Oh. Yeah, we shift at around 5,500 RPM, but it pulls all the way through red line. At higher speeds, the steering feels a little bit floaty. There really isn't a whole lot of weight to it. Let's throw this thing into sport mode. See if that changes things up at all. So in sport mode, the steering, it does get a little bit heavier. It's noticeably heavier, but it's still a very, very light overall steering rack. Brakes feel about the same. Throttle gets a lot more sensitive. That is a noticeable improvement. But even though the brakes don't change in sport mode, the brakes still feel really good. They feel better than both the Tahoe and the Suburban brakes. The steering doesn't quite feel as good as Tahoe or Suburban steering, but it's right up there. Once you step in that gas pedal, you start to forget about the steering in this vehicle because it is very quick. Yeah, in sport mode, you get a lot more response and low end bite. The steering, yeah, you feel a little bit more in sport mode. It also sounds like you get a little bit different of an induction note in sport as well. Give this guy in front of me a little bit of distance in sport mode, about half throttle. Boost. Oh, I feel strong. Yeah, guys, this turbocharged power plant's got a lot of oomph in it. And in sport mode, we hold our revs so we can just lean back into it. Boost. It's just so ridiculously quick. I am really liking this SUV. We can take it out of sport mode for now. We're just cruising along. See how everything changes up. In eco mode, the throttle gets a lot less sensitive, but it still does the job. You accelerate in speed pretty quickly, and the steering feels about the same as it did in normal mode. Either way, guys, this interior is really quiet. We just got out of the Mustang GT. I mean, it's not very different kind of vehicle, but I was saying how the new Mustang is so much quieter than it was in the past. And this Expedition is also so much quieter than it was in the past. They turned this thing basically into just a less loaded Navigator while saving $10,000, $15,000, and $20,000 in certain cases. And you're getting your money's worth. You got heated and ventilated seats, a solid sound system, 12-inch touchscreen, enough power to get this massive 3-row SUV to 60 in under 6 seconds, well under 6 seconds. About half throttle in eco mode, still picks up speed really well. You will not be complaining about power one bit. And if you are upset that you didn't go for the Limited Stealth Performance or the Timberline trim, you can always go for an aftermarket tune. I've seen tunes about $400 or $500, sometimes $600, $700 if you want to go for the higher end of things. But they're advertised to get this thing to almost 500 horsepower and almost 650 pound-feet of torque for $500-$600. That is worth it. You'll be blowing the doors off of Limited Stealth Performances and Timberline trims. And with this black appearance package and these all-terrain tires, I don't even know if the Timberline trim would necessarily be necessary after a tune. Handling is good on the gas. Woo! Good power. And really good composure, guys. Woo-hoo-hoo! This is a really good handling vehicle for an extended wheelbase SUV. We try out another real world turning radius. It is super sharp. looks like a good opportunity to try an acceleration out off the line. We're not going to put it in 4-wheel drive. We'll just try it out in 2-wheel drive, see if the wheels spin at all. Off the line on the gas, boost, no wheel spin. All right, we'd have to push it a whole lot further than that. So in eco mode, we didn't have any wheel spin. That was in 2-wheel drive. In sport mode, we automatically switched to 4-wheel drive auto. Let's see what this thing's got in the sport mode. A little bit of brake boost, and let's go. Oh yeah. I could definitely see 0 to 60 happening in the mid 5-second range, guys. This is a no joke performer, but we don't have to beat it up a whole lot further. Let's get this thing back to AutoNation Ford of Brooksville. What a beast. Sport mode, it feels good in sport mode, really responsive. The gas pedal feels a little bit beefier too, but since we're using 4-wheel drive, we get a little bit more drivetrain loss. Since there's no wheel spin in this vehicle in 2-wheel drive, I think you'll have a faster 0 to 60 in 2-wheel drive because of just a little bit less drivetrain loss, more instant response, and since there's no wheel spin, it's not going to compromise your first couple feet as much as a vehicle that will be roasting its tires off the line. We'll take a step out here, lean into it about third throttle, usable acceleration or usable power every day. Yeah, even at a third throttle in sport mode, this is sensitive. We shoot to about 4,500 RPM, and we didn't even step in the gas halfway. Throwing it back into normal mode, we'll finish it off in normal. That's probably where 99% of customers will be driving 99% of the time. And this is probably my personal favorite mode. Since we don't have wheel spin, I wouldn't use 4-wheel drive in most conditions. I would use it if it was like torrentially raining, and I'd use it if it was in the snow, of course. But outside of that, I'd keep it into 2-wheel drive at all times. So since I'll keep it in 2-wheel drive, sport mode becomes essentially just a waste of gas, burning up extra drivetrain loss and burning up extra fuel with the drivetrain. Normal mode gives you very good throttle response. The transmission's still responsive. The power is solid. It's not quite as sensitive as in sport mode, and it doesn't sound quite as beefy as in sport mode. The steering, it gets a little bit heavier in sport, but not enough for me to really want to use the sport steering. So as a result, I would leave it in normal mode or eco mode at all times. Eco mode does numb the throttle pedal a decent amount. That's the only reason I would keep it in normal. But overall, guys, this thing is quiet. At highway speeds, you don't hear any road noise. You don't hear any wind noise. The heated and ventilated seats work excellently. The sound system is surprisingly good for a bass. The space is unreal. If that's what you're looking for, guys, I would definitely recommend checking out the 2024 Ford Expedition Max. Compared to its competitor being the Chevy Suburban, whether you go with a 5.3, 6.2, or the 3-liter diesel, this is faster than every single one of those applications. It's not great on gas, but with 18 combined MPGs, a 6.2-liter Suburban, you're getting about 15 combined MPGs, and that's if you're lucky. So you're getting at least 3 to 4 MPGs better than the competition. You're blowing the doors off of it as far as acceleration and performance. I think this looks just as good, if not better, and the interior is ridiculously spacious. If that's what you're looking for, guys, I would definitely recommend checking out the 2024 Ford Expedition Max. Check out the XLT too. You get a ton of features for the money, especially with the high equipment group. If you're okay with spending an extra couple $1,000 to get into an even nicer SUV, I'd recommend going for probably a Limited. That's really the meat of the value plan, or the value from the Expedition. You get a ton of luxury for the money, and if you go for like the Limited Stellar Performance, you got even more performance than what you have here. I would definitely recommend checking out the 2024 Expedition or Expedition Max if you're looking for a full-size yet quick family SUV. And a big thanks to Chris at AutoNation Ford in Brooksville, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to your inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Brooksville, Tampa area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out, and ask for Chris. And huge thanks to all you guys for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe.
Leave a like too, it really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment, let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment, let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you want to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.